Well, hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of In the Paint, brought to you by Dr. Karen Kramer, your hometown dentist in Grafton and Elyria. And a little bit later on during this video, we'll have our Janasco Insurance Players of the Week. Hey, it's great to be back. Tim Elkhorn with AM 930 WEOL, joined by Matt Douglas from AM 930. And Matt, you switched seats last week. You were here. Bull Barch was there. I watched it from Arizona. You guys did a nice job.
Well, thank you. It was a little different, but we were able to get through it. Bull and I have a little bit of chemistry, doing that whole afternoon show together. But a lot of fun doing it with Bull, but good to see you back here. I don't know if you're appreciating the weather as much as what you had down there in Arizona, but welcome back.
Well, it's great to be back. And by the way, this is the final edition of In the Paint. So a huge thank you, a great big thank you to Dr. Karen Kramer and Janasco Insurance. So we've had a lot of fun doing this all year long.
We really have. It's fun to highlight the basketball players in Lorain County who do a tremendous job out there every single week. It's been a lot of fun this year, and as you've seen in the postseason, lots of reasons to still be very optimistic about the way this year's going.
Well, let's delve into that. Of course, on the boys' side, we're in district play. On the girls' side, always a week ahead, they're in regional play. One team still standing in Lorain County, Elyria Catholic, back to the Elite Eight once again. They'll play for a trip to the Final Four on Saturday against Chippewa. Boy, what a special season Lady Panthers are having after their Final Four season last year.
Yeah, just 4 regular season losses for the Panthers this year. One of those came to a school in Washington while they were down in Arizona for a tournament. So really a tremendous season. I think Coach Rothgary kind of pointed to it as they had gone into the season. Sometimes you expect to go back to the Final Four after you've been there the previous year, bring back as many returners as they did. They haven't. This Panthers team realizes what's in front of them every single night. Another good victory on Wednesday against Southeast to school out of Ravenna. And they just pulled away in that game. So they're showing that they're a strong team. Certainly will be tested coming up Saturday against Chippewa. But congratulations to the Panthers on what's been a great year and hopefully continues to be.
Yeah, they have a premier player in Faith Williams, one of the best guards, not only in our area, but Northeast Ohio, perhaps the state. Allie Winnan has been a presence in that low post. It's good to see her twin sister, Abby, back out on the floor. So they're really combining again to make a big threat down in that low block for Elyria Catholic. So led by Eric Rothgary, a tremendous amount of terrific players. This is a team that could go back to the Final Four.
I think without a doubt. You bring up the big names on that team, but youngsters like Attica Bradell has done a tremendous job stepping in for Abby Winnan when she was injured this year, and continues to be even just more depth here as they continue on in the postseason. Reagan Schill, the other senior on the team, has done a tremendous job. And you see these teams come up with big shots when they need it. And really, you mentioned Faith Williams, you mentioned Allie Winnan, but every one of those players can hit the big shots when they need it, and that's why they've gone as far as they've gone.
Yeah, Emily Rapaz has done very well, the Griffin girls. Yep. So, this is a very nice team. We wish them the best on Saturday. And, of course, before we switch to the boys, let's tip our cap to Avon Lake. Their head coach, Dave Zavara, wins his very first district championship as a head coach. I know he was thrilled to get that victory. And for the Shore Gals, even though it came to a tough ending on Tuesday night against an incredibly talented Canton-McKinley team led by Kirsten Bell, what a great season for the Shore Gals.
Without a doubt. They have absolutely no reason to hang their head. They gave it everything against that Canton-McKinley team, but for what they accomplished this year, knocking off an Olmsted Falls team in that district championship, a team that had only lost 1 game in conference play all season long to Avon, to get that victory, I think is tremendous and shows exactly how much they improved from the start of the season, which they were already very good, to the end of the season as well to get even better.
Yeah, what a great year. Amber Aklitis, 4-year starter, she'll be missed. Ariana Negron will come back, only a junior. Allie Heschel, just a great group of players, and they made Coach Zavara a happy guy with that district championship. So congratulations to the Shore Gals. All right, on the boys' side of things, as we mentioned, we're now in district play, and we've got 4 teams from 4 different divisions playing for a district championship. So that's pretty cool for Lorain County. In Division 1, Lorain High will be playing on Saturday night in a district championship game against either Olmsted Falls or Lakewood as we tape this show. Falls and Lakewood have not yet played that other district semi. In Division 2, how about Vermilion down at Mansfield-Madison, about 2 miles away from Mansfield Senior, and they beat Mansfield Senior. A great game on Wednesday night. So Vermilion comes back Saturday afternoon in Division 2, and they'll be taking on a very good Norwalk Trucker team, although Norwalk was pushed to 3 overtimes on Wednesday night by the 8-seed Ontario.
Yeah, well, that's an 8-seed that also beat the 2-seed Lexington. So if you like high school basketball, I'm telling you, that was one of the most fun brackets to watch. Even Norwalk, they played the 13-seed to open up the tournament, Tiffin Columbian. They won by 6, Tim. I mean, that tells you the parity from 1 to 13 in that district is just unbelievable. Vermilion, give them all the credit in the world for getting to this district championship. This should be a lot of fun to see them take on Norwalk.
So Lorraine in Division 1, Vermilion in Division 2, Elyria Catholic in Division 3. They had a nice win on Tuesday night against Warrensville Heights. They've got a real tough customer on Friday night, though. They'll be taking on Lutheran East, but the Panthers appear to be peaking at the exact right moment of the year.
Yeah, they certainly are. Tough opponent. You mentioned Lutheran East, not far removed from a trip to Columbus themselves. But look, I mean, it's all about who's playing the best basketball this time of the year. Panthers, I think their chemistry is fantastic. We've seen it in the early goings here this district round, and they've earned themselves a trip to this district title game. I think it could be a lot of fun. Jared Logan, perhaps his last game. Branson Taylor, always a force under the basket. Not many guys who can match up with that body. Stands about 6'6", 270 pounds, I think is what he's listed as. Yeah. Old-fashioned, kind of Shaquille O'Neal type player there under the basket.
And in Division 4, I kept saying during these In the Paint shows all year long in Division 4, look out for Open Door. Did I not say that?
You said that.
Look out for Open Door. And sure enough, they're in the district championship on Friday night down at Norton High School. They'll be taking on Richmond Heights. Boy, Open Door on Tuesday night with a great performance. They just blew out the Columbia Raiders. Trey Brooks, Miles Hunt, Jared Bublenik, they all played very, very well. So we'll see if they can get it done on Friday night.
Without a doubt, that's a fun team to watch. They've got the outside shot. The game I called against Central Christian, which I think was a couple weeks ago, they really worked the ball into Miles Hunt when they needed to, too. So they've got just about every threat offensively you can possibly bring. I'm intrigued to see what they do against Richmond Heights. And I got to believe if they can get past Richmond Heights, there's not many more teams that will give them much more than a test than that Spartan squad.
Well, that kind of segues into our next segment. So there used to be an old political roundtable kind of show, the McLaughlin Group.
Sure.
And the late, great John McLaughlin, he was a great host. He had a bunch of political people sitting around, and he would say, predictions, predictions. I don't know if we're going to give predictions here, but let's start on the girls' side.
All right.
EC going to the Final Four?
Chippewa's a tough team. They ran into them, I think, last year, too, around this time of the season. Yeah, I think they absolutely can. Those girls are hungry. They know what it's like to get down there. I think they're anxious to try and get to that state championship game. So based on that alone and the youth, the experience that team brings, I think the Panthers make it.
I think in girls basketball, more often than not, if you've got the best player on the floor,
sure, you're
going to win the game. I think Faith Williams has shown throughout the year in most games that Elyria Catholic is involved with. She's the best player on the floor. I think EC's going back to Columbus.
Yeah, hard to debate that by any means.
All right, so let's go to the boys. Division 1, Lorraine High. Nothing against Olmsted Falls or Lakewood, whoever they play in that district championship game. But, boy, I've said all along, Lorraine High, the prohibitive favorite in Division 1 to win that district. I got to stay with that. I mean, Day-Day, Devon Grant just putting together an incredible season. Tavon Pierre-Lewis, Jordan Jackson, I mean, Cam Davis, the list goes on and on. Deontay Benajan, that's a talented team. I think they get out.
Yeah, their 90-56 win over Avon was a statement there in that district semifinal. That is an extremely good Avon team that they got the running clock going against. By the way, Avon was hitting about 50% from three-point range over the last 3 games, and that's how good they were playing. Lorraine made easy work of them. So, yeah, I'm going to tell you, Lorraine right now I think is one of the top teams to beat in Division 1. I don't know if there's many schools that can knock them off.
All right, Division 2, that Vermilion-Norwalk game that we talked about Saturday afternoon down at Mansfield-Madison. I'm going to go with the Sailors. No, we're doing a Lorain County basketball show here, but no, Jonah File playing very well. Seth Hurd playing very well. Mason Montgomery, their leading scorer, great athlete. It's a defensive-minded team. And going back to what you said, Norwalk has struggled a little bit. So I think the Sailors will get out. I think they'll get a Sweet 16 appearance.
Yeah, I think Norwalk tried to avoid Vermilion as much as they could in that bracket, and in doing so, they matched themselves up with some very tough competition in those low seeds that far exceeded expectations. Yeah, I think you very well may be right. I can tell you this, though. It's going to be fun because that district has just been a blast. The parity in that league is just tremendous, so it should be a good game.
Yeah, it's a loaded district. EC and D3, they've got a tough customer against Lutheran East. Not that I'm picking against EC, but that would be an upset, I would say.
Yeah, I would think so, too, if Elyria Catholic can pull that one out again. As good as the Falcons have played here over the last few years, no one's really been able to knock them off. So go Panthers. Let's hope they can pull that one. But as you mentioned, it will be an upset if they get the win.
And D4, I've been saying all year, as we mentioned earlier, look out for Open Door. I really like this team. I think they played tremendously well on Tuesday night. And their schedule this year, they played D1 schools. They played Massillon. They played Euclid. I don't think Richmond Heights will intimidate Open Door. I'm with the Patriots. I think Open Door wins that district final.
Hard to go against them. Tremendous regular season. I think you can learn a lot from losses, but I think fans around here learned a lot from that 2-point loss they had to Euclid at the end of the season. That's a team in the GCC that had 7 losses in the regular season, a school much bigger than Open Door that has much more depth. And Open Door had the lead in the closing minutes of that game, unfortunately came up just a bit short. I really like the Open Door Patriots and the way they're playing right now. I think they can pull it out.
I think they're going to go to the Sweet 16. I do. All right, so for the final time this year, we've got our Janasco Insurance Players of the Week for the final time. I'll start on the boys' side. We mentioned Open Door, and they're playing very well. 2 tournament wins since our last edition of In the Paint. They beat Kidron Central Christian on Friday night, and then that big win on Tuesday night that I alluded to earlier when they knocked off Columbia. And the guy that's been a real presence for the Patriots, Miles Hunt, down in that low block. 15 points and a bunch of rebounds in that ball game against Kidron Central. Came back Tuesday night, had a 16-point, I believe 10 or 11 rebound effort against Columbia, so a double-double. Miles Hunt is really playing well. And all of a sudden, when you've got Hunt playing well, along with Trey Brooks and Bublenik and Dobbins, Carter Wright, that's a dangerous team. But Miles Hunt is really starting to put it together. He's my Janasco Insurance Player of the Week.
Yeah, that's not to mention his block shots, too. I mean, when you get in the paint, it's not guaranteed against that Open Door team. Tim, for mine, Elyria Catholic's been playing tremendous as of late. The district championship Saturday, they knocked off Lutheran East, 19 points for Faith Williams in that game. And then going into the most recent regional semifinal, they picked up a strong victory against Southeast Outer Ravenna. Faith Williams wasn't the leading scorer for that Elyria Catholic team, but she hit 11 big points at the end of the first half to help turn that from a 7-point game into about a 15-point game. I think when all was said and done, she hit 3 3-pointers down that stretch and really just kind of deflated any chance Southeast had at possibly getting the win. So due to the play of Faith Williams, Tim, you mentioned it, when you have the best player on the court, odds are you're going to win. I think Faith Williams is going to be the best player on the court, and she certainly was last week and going into this week for the Elyria Catholic Panthers. So Faith Williams is my final Janasco Insurance Player of the Game.
So congratulations to Faith Williams of Elyria Catholic and Miles Hunt of Open Door. So that's going to do it for us as far as the video is concerned. A quick plug for the radio station. All these teams and all these games that we talked about, we'll have them covered on the radio, on the mobile app, on WEOL.com. Every single one of the teams that we just talked about will have their games covered this weekend.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to all these matchups, and let's see a few more Lorain County teams move on down the line.
Absolutely. Matt, it's been a blast,
man.
It's
been fun.
Good stuff. And, of course, thanks to Bruce Bishop behind the camera and our audio guy as well. He controls everything here in the Chronicle Telegram studios. And as we mentioned earlier, these In the Paint videos all season long are not possible without Dr. Karen Kramer and Janasco Insurance, so we thank them very, very much. And, of course, a great big thank you to you, the viewers. Enjoy tournament time. There's nothing like March Madness.